I see a lot of hands.
Hi, Pascal. Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. Thank you for taking the time.
Hi,
Welcome to New
Andrew.
York City.
You're very
Uh,
welcome.
I guess first question, what's your vision for how you want the team to play? I guess like stylistically and just like the personality that you want your NYCFC squad to have this year.
Well, a big part of me being here is based on what I've seen so far, preparing myself how the team was playing before I was in charge. So there are quite a few similarities, to be honest. But basically, what I said to my guys once I got in, we have to take it to another level in order to be more successful. So looking for a higher intensity is something that I'm aiming for. A little bit more flexibility in how we defend and how we attack, and obviously try to get more stability into the team. So that's basically it.
Chris?
Hi, Pascal. Chris Campbell from the outfield. You came on, and three assistant coaches from last year are still here with Leon, Rob, and Medi. What benefits do you have? Having them on from the previous regime, as well as whose decision was it to keep them, and are you planning on adding any more coaches to your staff? Thanks.
Well, it's been a joint decision. Let me state that I'm very happy with the three of them staying with me in my staff. They help me out a lot. Obviously, they have the knowledge about the squad and they have the knowledge about the league. So that is going to be very helpful for me to understand it even better than I understand it at this moment. Of course, we're always in talks because if we find that we should add somebody else to the team of coaches, that is amongst the possibilities for maybe down the road in the future.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Church and Stream Punk Soccer. Thanks for taking the time.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
no problem. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Our pleasure. Talk a little bit about the decision to come stateside in this particular case and what you find personally similar or different coaching and playing versus say Europe. Thanks.
Well, I'm still trying to find my place, if you will, considering what the different angles might be. Coming to this part of the world is quite easy, to be honest, because I think that the MLS will be one of the major leagues in due time, and this my choice coming here in this period gives me a head start in order to get acquainted with this league. As I said, I think it's going to be one of the biggest leagues in the world in the near future. So me being here as a coach with the experience that I'm bringing with me from Europe is going to help me to a certain point. But getting the understanding of this league in this phase, when everything is about to happen, looking at World Club teams, the World Cup for the countries, our new stadium coming in 27, I thought it would be best to get a head start.
We'll go with Glenn Crooks in the room.
Hey, so when we spoke to David earlier, he put a pretty big emphasis on the younger players' development. He wants the team to develop, but in particular, the younger players. Maybe that was one of the reasons he was attracted to bringing you in, especially with what you did at AZ. Can you discuss that a little bit? Because you have some teenagers who were inconsistent last year, didn't get a lot of time in some cases, and what you've seen so far.
Well, I've been very happy with the things I've seen so far. Of course, this has been a topic that we've discussed in the whole process of becoming the new head coach. Yes, it's true. I have a track record of working with youngsters and was able to help these guys get to the next level and even beyond that once they had their backpack filled in the Eredivisie. But inconsistency comes along with young kids, young players. So getting them to a level where they have more consistency in their game and in their development is also a factor of time. It needs time. So the environment within our club is perfect as far as I can tell now. But with the things that I have in my system, in my ideas, I hope I can help them out and bring them to the next level.
Is there a certain amount of balance between the patience you need to have, but also, you're trying to get them to a point where they can effectively help you win games?
Yeah, but that's always the tension there, because that's the spectrum that we work in. High standards, high demands is part of the process. On the other hand, players will always find their own development path. And the path that has been created within New York is a good path, but the time factor will always be there. And hopefully with my help and creating a slightly different program where necessary, we can speed things up. On the other hand, last season they were young. This season they're still young, but they have the advantage of last season already in their backpack. So it's going to help them during this season again. You're welcome.
Going back to the Zoom, we'll go with Alex, followed by Oliver.
Hi, Pascal. Alex Winley, AM New York. Beyond tactics, teams often thrive when they have a strong collective mindset. What kind of mentality do you want this team to embody throughout the season? Thanks.
Interesting question, because we addressed this topic also in earlier team meetings with the squad over the past 2-3 weeks. I would like to call it that we have a bulletproof mindset. Always being aggressive, going out to win the games, obviously, but a bulletproof mindset makes you, in my opinion, it makes you work from a standard that you feel like you can handle anything in any stadium under any circumstance. So that's what I'm looking for.
Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue. Hi. The Coachella Invitational it starts tomorrow afternoon, and the games will be televised and live streamed, so we'll be able to watch them. Mm-hmm. What can we expect to see on the field? Are you a head coach who will try to play his best 11 players in order to kind of generate that chemistry and cohesion, or is this more of like an open tryout where a lot of players will be given the opportunity to show their stuff in India?
Well, let me be clear on that. It's not an open tryout. Far from that. We are in almost our 4th week of preseason. So I've been watching the team closely over the past few weeks, and it's not a tryout. We have to be ready in order to perform at our best from the 22nd of February and onwards. So everything that we've been doing so far has been done in the spirit of that. And so tomorrow will be the first game in Coachella. As you know, we've already played 2 games in our other camp. So it's just an extension of where we left the first camp going into the second camp. And we're trying to improve our game in order to be ready for the 22nd.
We'll go with Alec and then Michael.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to New York. Good
Thank
to see
you.
I just wanted to say, based on watching a fair amount of your tape from AZ Alkmaar, it seems you require a lot from every player, but obviously a lot specifically from your midfield. This season, NYCFC lost its midfielder and Defensive Player of the Year, James Sands. Since then, there hasn't been news of replacement yet. Do you have any specific plans to address this hole? Or is there any player that immediately has stood out to you?
Well, of course, it's a tough one to take. If James is leaving the club but going to the Bundesliga is a big step for him and a big compliment for the guys who've been working with him in New York. On the other hand, we know for a fact that we have to focus on what needs to be done in order to restore in midfield, but it always opens the door for other players that are still with the team. So we're trying our best in order to mold this midfield and get the play style across and the ideas that I have for midfield players like you addressed from previous clubs that you've seen my teams play. And that takes work, and they're putting in the effort and the work. So hopefully we can see some of it tomorrow already in the next game that we're going to play. But you'll have to address this question concerning players who might be coming in or not to David Lee, because he's the one who's responsible for that aspect.
Michael, go ahead.
Hi, Pascal. Mike Andrew from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Mike.
Based on your analysis of watching the team's film and then being with them, what do you think is the low-hanging fruit for this team, and where you think you're going to make adjustments, the earlier adjustments with the club?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm still in the exploring phase. So as I said to one of your colleagues just now, for me, it's like going into the 4th week almost in preseason. And for me, of course, this period is about getting to know my players and making sure that I have a good perspective of what they can or cannot do and where I am able to help them. So we're still in that phase, and I take it day by day in order to see where the adjustments or the tweaks need to be done.
We'll go with Ronnie, followed by Juan Carlos.
Hi, Coach Pascal. Welcome to New York and welcome to the club. Ronnie from Soccer View Radio. Just my question was, what were your thoughts and initial reactions upon just seeing the NYCFC 2025 schedule, starting off with two very tough teams in Inter Miami and LAFC on the road, and just really, just how close were you watching MLS prior to, coming to the league? Thank you so much.
Well, the MLS has always been a league that I've been interested in. Otherwise, to be fair, if I didn't know the league or wasn't interested, I would not have considered the step to come here. On the other hand, the schedule.
I'm not going to mention.
The schedule question is, I think, a fair question, but it's a very exciting start. Playing against two top teams of the league in an early stage of the competition is very challenging, but I've gotten to know my guys that they are up for any challenge, and that's the way to go about it.
Juan Carlos?
Hi, Coach. Thank you for the time. Juan Carlos from Empire Sports Media. Just wanted to ask you real quick, your message to the fans. I know they could be a bit demanding with results. Just quickly, what do you expect, or your message to the fans towards this new season in 2025? Thanks.
Well, the demanding fans is something I love, and I'm looking forward to meeting them, because I think the fans and the fan base in general is a huge part of a club who's trying to grow into the next level and be very successful. So being a successful team, being a successful club requires a fan base who demands a lot. So the high standards that they're looking for is similar to what I'm looking for. So we can shake hands on that one.
We'll go with Adam and followed by Matt.
Hey, Coach. This is Adam with Post 90. Outside of football, is there anything specific that you're looking forward to now that you'll be living and working in and around New York City?
Well, I've been in coaching, in professional coaching for a while now. And what I've taught myself over the years is to enjoy every experience and be able to share my passion at this level with this beautiful club in this beautiful league is something I'm looking forward to. So I'll keep doing that and enjoy the fact that I'm part of this club and this team now, and working in the US is something special. So I'm going to try and enjoy each and every second of it. That is it, basically.
Matt?
Hey, Coach. Matt Mangum, Hudson River Blue. Welcome to New York. I got two questions for you. Number one, how have you adjusted so far to NYCFC and your time with the club? And number two, just it's still early, but you're used to a lot of success in your career. So what are your expectations for this team, what you've seen so far in preseason?
Well, I've been very happy so far with what I've seen from my boys. We've been working really, really hard over the past almost 4 weeks. Minor tweaks and adjustments always made in relation to the games that we're going to play. The guys had to adapt to my philosophy and my approach in coaching and high standards and high demands in training, but they're dealing with it. And we're looking forward to the games always, because then we get the chance to show what we've been working on in order to do that at the highest level possible, and get as close as possible to the level that we're looking for once the league is on its way.
Chris?
Hi, Pascal. Chris Cameron from the outfield again. In this club's short history, they've had two head coaches leave in the middle of the season. As you came on here, you left 6 months into your previous position. While fans are excited, I think there's also some kind of nerves regarding, especially the calendar in MLS versus Europe and coaches leaving mid-year. I know you mentioned a stadium coming up in 2027, so it sounds like you're looking at this as a long-term project. Can you kind of talk about your how excited you are for this position, and kind of talk to the fans about your commitment to this team and to this city?
Well, the commitment is there. That's very clear. The club has made a tremendous effort in order to get me here. I was in Hungary for the past 6 months working at Ferencváros, having a good time there, working hard with that team. But once I got into the process of speaking about the project here in New York, I got more excited every time we spoke about this. So for me, of course, it's a long-term goal in order to be successful over a long period with the team. But my main task is to make sure that I improve the team, improve the players, get them to the next level. So we have all the ingredients to become more successful than we've been so far.
All right, we'll do the final two. Eric on Zoom, and then we'll end with Glenn in person. Eric?
Hey, Coach. Pleasure to meet you. Eric Goyotecal, Soccer View Radio.
Yes.
There's been lots of talk of, how young the team is and, your role in helping them develop.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak a little bit more on the role that you'll expect from veteran players, specifically someone like Maxi Morales, who re-signed for the club this month, a long servant of the club?
Yeah, interesting question, because I'm happy with the question also to take away the focus of just the young kids in the squad. People mustn't forget that we have some great experienced players in the squad as well, and Maxi is one of them. But one of your colleagues asked me the question that I expect the same from each and every player. That is the truth. If you're 16 or 17 years of age or 37, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to have impact on the team and make a good contribution to what the team needs in order to perform better. So Maxi is just one example in the team who is, of course, one of the most experienced players within our squad. And I can see on a daily basis already how important he is helping out every player, not just the young players, but every player in order to become that better player and help us be more successful.
And final one, Glenn?
So I'll close asking about the younger players. But Julian Fernandez, Ojeda, Ivanic, Carrizo, Johnny Short. What when you look at those players as a group, do you anticipate they're all going to get a good run in whether it's all 4 games here or leading up to your decision making as you lead into the first weekend? How do you plan to chart that as specific as you can get?
Well, if you look back at the 2 games that we've played already, then you see that everybody has had a part in those matches that we played. I mentioned also earlier that the 22nd of February is priority number 1. So we're molding and shaping a team who's ready to perform on the 22nd of February and go at the league as hard as we can. I don't see any difference in a guy who's 17 or 37. I just look at what the guy can add or what kind of impact he has on the team. I'll give you this example. Johnny has played in the second game in the starting 11 next to Keats, and he did a really good job. So he is showing that what he's capable of in training each and every day that I've seen him go to work. He was capable of transferring that also into the match that he played from the start. But also in game number 1, Johnny was one of the kids who showed that he was capable of dealing with the pressure of playing in the first team, even though it's a friendly game. So he is a good example of our young kids, being one of our young kids who is capable of showing what he can have, what kind of impact he could have on the team. And I can mention almost any of the youngsters having that type of impact. So, so far, I think New York has done a tremendous job bringing these kids from the academy towards the first team. And to close it off, if you look at how much work we've already done in the past 3 to 4 weeks, and all the youngsters, and I'm going to knock on wood now, we're still available each and every training and capable of doing what we were asking from them. I foresee a good future for these young kids, and we'll have to see if it's good enough for the run in the MLS, but they will sure have a part in this.